Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Bush League Huddle Fantasy Football Podcast. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing on this fine Wildcard Weekend extravaganza moving into the Divisional Round? This is exciting stuff, guys. NFL playoffs is always one of my favorite times of the years. Wildcard Weekend definitely did not disappoint. So we got a fantastic episode for you, ready to jump into a lot of stuff that happened over the last few days, including the unfortunate dismissal, if you will, of a one Mike Tomlin. The
standard is the standard.
Standard's a standard. You know, if my aunt had, you know what, she'd be my uncle. And you know, sometimes we're trying to put 8 pounds in a 5 pound bag, and all the other Tomlinisms that exist out there.
Don't blink, or else tear off your eyelids.
There it is. There it is. So Knack has we got a segment dedicated to Knack and Mr. Mike Tomlin. The only coach in NFL history to have a winning record in the first 19 seasons of his coaching career. So very wonderful segment dedicated to and also return to Knack, return of the Knack, ladies and gentlemen.
Return of the Knack.
He missed last week. He's here again this week. He's chock full of energy, ready to rip and roar right now for what we got as a fantastic division round weekend update coming up. But before we get into all that fun stuff, because this is a fantastic episode. We got some QB rankings, and obviously we're going to go over the playoffs that are currently underway right now in the NFL. But before we get into all that, ladies and gentlemen, please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter for all of your weekly football-related fantasy stuff. Even non-fantasy related questions and inquiries, like interact, send us whatever you want. Like we're NFL fans before we're football fans. We want to make that very clear, you know. So we're at the edge of our seat every single playoff weekend with every single game that we got going on right now. So it's super exciting for us. So send us all your inquiries and all your questions, even for next year too. You know what? Like Roger has a bit of a QB ranking segment going on this episode where he's going to dive into some of the QBs and how they ended at the end of the year and where he thinks they're going to fall. I'm not really sure. This is a segment that we're just flying into right now, so it's going to be new to everybody right now. But all this to say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Fab, I'm Knack. We got Roger on the horn as well. So please follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We're gonna jump right into this. Knack, you wanna say a few words and pour one out for your boy Mike Tomlin?
Yes, the longest tenured head coach in the NFL was or stepped away from football, as they say. We'll never know exactly what happened, but apparently he told the Roonies in the morning and then had a 2 p.m. meeting with the team. He told the team. Apparently there was a standing ovation in that room after, and everyone kind of waited and dapped him up on their way out. A lot of Instagram posts, Twitter posts from former players, which is really nice to see. He was really a player's coach, and obviously you could tell that it wasn't because the word got stale in the locker room. That stayed throughout his 19-year tenure. Never lost the locker room once. Was always loved, and a big reason why. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers came this year, and Rooney also mentioned it in his presser today that when he was asked, "Is Rodgers coming back?" and he was like, "Well, he came here to play for Tomlin, so it might muddy those decisions." So
it's gonna be tough for next year.
Yeah, does not seem like Aaron Rodgers will be back. But yes, it was an up and down 19 years. Obviously, ended with 7 straight defeats in the playoffs, and by a large margin as well. So I think Tomlin, from what Rooney said, it was time. He wanted to just step away. It looks like he's not even going to coach this year or in the near future. So we'll see what we'll see what that holds. I know that Bill Cowher said he would return and never did. So maybe it's one of those things. But I think it was just time. This is why these things happen. I think it was 19 years. That does not happen often. I think Bill Belichick did it for 19 years. Who was it? Shula was there for 23, I believe. I think was the long. Oh no, sorry.
Noel was in
Lombardi. There was Lombardi. Noel was 23. Who was the highest tenured? I saw it
with one team.
With the same team. With one team.
Yeah, with one team. I think it could have been Shula. 23 years I believe or something, or 27 years.
I think it's Tom Landry.
Tom Landry. There we go. Tom Landry, 29 years. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But 19 years, you don't see that. very often these days, right? Harbaugh was there for 18 years, another one that you don't see quite often. But I think it's a very exciting time because, you have a bunch of, young up and comers here in this new cycle. The only thing that might hurt them is that there are 9 open fields at the moment. But if I was me, the first guy on my list would be Chris Shula. I know that they've already requested in the short period of time. They've requested interviews from Chris Shula, Nathan Steelhouse. Maybe Steelhouse once he comes
That's
to
the
Pittsburgh.
passing coordinator, right?
Passing coordinator for the Rams. Jesse Minter, DC for the Chargers. Anthony Weaver, DC for the Dolphins. Brian Flores, DC for the Vikings, and Robert Saleh, DC for the 49ers. So there is a trend here. The past 3 coaches were defensive coordinators, and they were 37 and younger when they were hired. Yeah. This is what the Steelers go after. And by the list that they just gave us, it looks as though they're going to be continuing in the same direction, which, look, it does make sense for this team. I would have liked an offensive-minded coach, change it up, but I think they're just going to go after. I think their their goal is to get Chris Shula and Nathan Steelhouse as the OC. I think that's probably why they're interviewing him. He's probably not going to make the jump for the head coaching job, but if they could get Chris Shula there, maybe they get him as the offensive coordinator. And then the dream scenario to cultivate the whole McVay tree cycle is hiring Raheem Morris as the defensive coordinator. That would be, I think, dream scenario for Pittsburgh. I don't think, or Brian Flores as the DC, but I pretty sure he gets a head coaching gig this time around.
I was going to say, I think Brian Flores is looking out for a head coaching job, and rightfully so, right? Those are a bunch of fantastic names, to be honest with you, that the Steelers have lined up over there. So I think whoever they get within that wonderful crop of individuals, they're going to be very happy with. I like Chris Shula a lot. I like him a lot. That is a name that I'll be very jealous that whichever team lands him either as a DC, but most likely as a head coach, I'll be very, very jealous. Yeah.
So I was a bit curious. So I tried to kind of line up all the head coaches with current roles. So just to go quickly, like Giants and Harbaugh seems like it's going to happen. Browns, I put when I did this exercise. I know I don't want to jinx it.
It's not. He left the building and he's going to Tennessee.
Well, hold on a second. So that doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. Harbaugh is a man of his word. He said he was going to meet with the Titans and the Falcons, and on top of that, the Titans are coming to him.
I want my coach to do due diligence and make sure that the Giants are the right role for him.
100%.
Anyways, Browns, I put. There's a lot of talk of this Grant Udinski. He was the OC for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sure he had a big part of the resurgence for Trevor Lawrence. Titans, I think Stefanski. I think Stefanski goes to the Titans. Personally, that's lining up to, well, if Harbaugh's going to go with the Giants, I think Stefanski with Cam Ward makes a ton of sense. Cardinals, it looks like it's Vance Joseph. That's what I've been seeing, whether on Twitter or even Cardinals Reddit. He was there before as their previous DC. Nak, I actually think Steelers go for Flores. The Steelers are in a position where whenever they go for a coach, it has to be someone who's going to be there for the long haul. I don't see Flores getting many roles with the impending and current lawsuit with the NFL, but TBD. I think the Ravens, this one is tough, but I think it's going to be Jesse Minter just because he's been in the building before, and they also probably want to go defensive. Dolphins, I put Saleh, and then the Falcons, I had Kubiak. So honestly, I was just curious. I just kind of wanted to place everyone, but I really think it's like a huge Pandora's box. And if you factor in the OC roles that are open, there's the Eagles, there's the Chargers, there's the Commanders, there's the Buccaneers. Those are 4 really
Lions,
really good. Lions too. Yes,
Lions.
Lions. I forgot about the Lions.
True. Yeah, Lions too.
So like McDaniel could go there. I would love if Dable goes to the Giants. Sorry, not the Giants. I would love for Dable to go to the Eagles for at least for Jalen Hurts, because he coached Jalen Hurts in the past. Even
Bama,
Bama, even Cliff Kingsbury would be interesting in Philly. So the Raiders was the last one that I didn't mention. I think Kingsbury could be an option there too. So the crazy coaching carousel, I think it's the wildest it's ever been, and it's really going to be interesting to see where it ends off.
I think we're all waiting for that first domino to fall, right? And obviously, I think we're all waiting to see where Harbaugh signs, because that's going to be contingent for everybody else that's making their decision. Mind you, if you hear things like Stefanski signing with whoever, let's say the Raiders next week, it probably means that those other teams are out of the Harbaugh sweepstakes. So it's something to keep an eye on too when other dominoes start falling. But it's definitely one of the wilder coaching carousels.
Yeah, and there's also the fact that there's teams in the playoffs where you can't set up interviews face to face. It's all through Zoom. So
True.
Shula and everything like that. But no, I think it is going to be interesting. And honestly, for the first time as a Steelers fan, I'm hoping the new blood. They came in. All these young guys came in, and Tomlin won I know it wasn't his team per se, but won a championship, then got to another one.
Yeah,
they just need some younger. They got to modernize, as everyone's been saying it, right? I mean, it's coming. I'm hoping, like I said, Chris Shula, Nathan Shieldhouse, and potentially Raheem Morris as DC. But
that'd be awesome.
We'll see some exciting times as a Steelers fan. Just gotta hope for that QB now. But wait, you know what? One interesting one. Last word here. One interesting one that I saw is if they can't get Matt LaFleur signed in Green Bay, Steelers grab Matt LaFleur and Malik Willis in free agency and run that show in Pittsburgh. Now that caught my interest.
I like that a lot.
Malik Willis needs to be signed.
Willis needs to be signed somewhere, and that's actually a really good segue because we're going to kind of talk about QB rankings in 2026. And Malik Willis was actually one very interesting case study in terms of where to put him in the rankings, because he played very well with the Green Bay Packers, and obviously he's going to be a free agent. So let's just jump right into it. So this is the second year we're going to do the way too early 2026 fantasy football QB rankings. Why not? We're all kind of in off-season mode now. Obviously, those who won, good for you. But now we're in this scenario where we're starting to already think about whether it's dynasty, whether it's redraft, NFL draft coming up now. So what I wanted to do here is just kind of do a reset of this. So I think some factors to consider are, well, who's going to be the play callers? Who has a really good play caller currently? What are kind of the coaching situations that are maybe going to lean on or are going to happen as well? One of the kind of criteria I looked into this as well is not blindly crowning sophomores just because of hype. I felt that was something that we did as a group a lot last year. And I think a lot of people in the fantasy football space, media space, quote unquote, do as well. And also dinging injury prone players a little bit. Obviously the production has to be there, but if there's no lack of production or medium production and you're injury prone, well, I think that has to ding you as well. So I'm just gonna go through the top 1 to 14 and then maybe a little bit skim through the 15 to 28. But I think there's no surprise. Josh Allen, the number 1 fantasy QB again. I think it's going to be consensus QB1 for the 3rd straight year. Rushing floor, year-to-year stability. I think he has the safest elite ceiling, especially in Superflex. Drake May, I had put number 2. He's going to be either first or second in MVP voting, likely going to be second. He was QB2 in total points and points per game. He's already playing like a fantasy cheat code in year 2, and he has the rushing upside as well. And I think a really good play caller in Josh McDaniels, who is very unlikely to ever go back into the head coaching cycle again.
Lamar 3, huh?
Yeah, Lamar 3. So this one, if you look at his history, every time he's had an amazing season, he's come back with maybe a more mediocre one. We saw it after his first MVP season where he had 36 touchdowns. He came back with 2 average years and then came back afterwards. I think that's where he had Todd Monken coming in as an OC. He won the MVP again afterwards. And then he still had that's where last year he had his 41 touchdown season. So I expect a bounce back. He's bounced back many times before after mediocre seasons. So I think, again, it'll depend on who the OC is or even the head coach. Maybe it's Mike McDaniel, but TBD.
I was going to say Monken is no longer the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, and Monken is no longer the offensive coordinator. I'm saying he has bounced back, especially when they went from Greg Roman to Todd Monken as the OC. That propelled Lamar even further.
No, that makes sense.
4th place, Joe Burrow. Again, this is another one. If you were to put the injury proneness aside, Joe Burrow is easily in the top 3. I put him as 4 just behind Lamar Jackson from the rushing upside, but I have a hard time still putting Joe Burrow anywhere below a top 5 ranking. And if you look at down the stretch, he looked very good. There's Jamar Chase, there's T. Higgins, there's Chase Brown. That offense is still going to be in place. Zach Taylor somehow is the only AFC North coach that didn't get fired, which is crazy. The Bengals are just like, yeah, I want more of this. Makes no sense, but he's going to have some continuity. Trevor Lawrence at 5, strong finish.
Wild.
Elite pass catching
Crazy.
group, though. That group we were talking about in our group chat, guys. Like Parker Washington looks like a stud.
Yep.
Jacoby Myers made a huge difference. Liam Cohen to me is a force multiplier, where because of him being there in the second year in that offense, I really think Trevor Lawrence he is worthy of this top 5 pick.
The major difference with Trevor Lawrence in the first half of this season versus the second half of the season, massive difference. But the biggest difference, but they were utilizing his rushing ability so much more.
So many two touchdown games.
Yes.
Goal line.
It was just and he's efficient on the ground. Like he's efficient enough. And that was 9 rushing touchdowns. You can't expect that every single year, but I think it forced the defense to be a lot more honest, right? So that's a gutsy call having Trevor Lawrence at 5, but it's hard to disagree.
It was hard, especially if you factor in all the injuries that happened previously this year. And we'll go through it, but Dak Prescott at 6, fantastic year, finished as QB 6, 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns. My issue with Dak Prescott, and he's kind of the opposite of Lamar Jackson, whereas every time he has a big year, he has a stinker or he gets injured the year after. It's almost a given. But Pickens, another year in the same offense with Shoddy, obviously CeeDee Lamb, you expect maybe they'll do a bit more with the run game. Javonte was there, so I think Prescott is still worthy as
Pickens right now is free agent.
Franchise. You're right. He might get franchise tagged, or we'll see what happens. I put Caleb and Bo Nix 6, 7, and 8. I think Caleb finished at QB 5, Bo Nix QB 7. Slight edge to Caleb just because of the kind of the play caller. I think with Ben Johnson, I think he looked to ascend a little bit more than Bo Nix, but I think you could intertwine them either way. Nix as well, I think, had a very good year. I was down on Nix, but as the season grew along, I'm growing to appreciate him more. 83 carries for Nix, 77 for Caleb Williams. Both guys run quite a bit. Both guys can scramble. I think it's looking way up for them. Jalen Hurts at 9, Jaden Daniels at 10. This is where Jalen Hurts gets a little bit dinged because of just the overall season. The kind of the air of that season left, I think, a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. He still finished as QB 8, but you have to think less tush push, depending on who the offensive coordinator is. 3,200 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. This could go either way, depending on if it's a Mike McDaniel, if it's a Brian Daboll. But I feel like he just naturally had to get dinged a little bit. It's just kind of like the penalty of the season they had. Jaden Daniels is the one that it really scared. I think we're all kind of bearish on Jaden Daniels, injury prone.
I think you have
Kingsbury not there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like Brock Purdy in like that 10 spot.
Yeah, Brock Purdy is a very safe QB1, high-end QB2. Very, very safe. And he's been there was a period in time this year where Mac Jones and Brock Purdy were averaging over 300 yards passing per game, because at one point Brock Purdy was injured and Mac Jones was playing. It was like a period of like I one game in, one game out, and that offense is just so high octane, so fun to watch. Obviously, with Kittle tearing his Achilles, you don't know what's going to happen for next year. I think that should be baked into his ranking a little bit. But Brock Purdy is a very, very nice blue chip type of quarterback to have on your roster.
I really liked him, especially when he came back. You could tell they pushed the ball further. I don't think it's fair to compare it to Mac Jones. They really pushed the ball. The rushing ability was more unlocked when Purdy was back as well. Nak, I agree with you. I had a really hard time with Jaden Daniels. I kept moving him along. I moved him almost to the point where he was at 14, but I felt, look, upside is still there. But I feel you on that one. In terms of number 11, Patrick Mahomes, my gut tells me he's going to be available week 1. I think knowing what we know about Patrick Mahomes, he's going to attack that rehab like there's no tomorrow. But you just have to ding him. It's an ACL. It was the second to last game of the season. I wouldn't. There's not a guy I would count out less than him though. Fab, you're like
I would draft Mahomes before Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
Well, it's an ACL, dude.
It's
like an ACL.
I wouldn't go that far, but
as of right now, like if he's ready week 1, I'm taking Mahomes over Lamar Jackson. The guy was on fire this year. Mahomes, fire.
I agree.
And the offense is the offense. The only thing you can knock on him from an offense standpoint is now Kelsey's going to be retired most likely, but I feel yeah.
Hell hath no fury like a quarterback who scars Fab.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
a quarterback who scars Fab, he just puts the hex on them.
It's not very true. But if we're looking all things equal in a bubble and all that stuff, I would take Mahomes over Lamar Jackson.
That's fair.
Yeah, and Lamar, there's a lot of question marks for where he's going to be. Anyways, let's keep on. We can spend all episode on the QB rankings.
Yeah, for sure. Stafford and Herbert, I think interchangeable. This is only the age thing. Like if Stafford was 31, I think we'd all probably rank him in the top 5.
It's wild that you have Matthew Stafford ranked as a QB2 when he finished QB1 overall.
I know.
Just I understand where you're coming from, and I get your point of view, and I don't disagree with it. I get it, because at some point he has to fall off, and maybe next year is the year. But
where would you place him?
I would place him more around I would probably place him right above Caleb. I would place him at the 7 spot.
Stafford?
And move everyone down a peg.
It's a big outlier year for a 38-year-old. I just try to go
more of a low end QB,
and it's just try to go through the list of quarterbacks who at 30, and it's just Aaron Rodgers, and
if they win the Super Bowl, he might be riding into the sunset.
That there you go.
True.
Are they gonna spam 1-yard touchdowns again like they did this year to try to get him MVP? They're going to do that again next year. I don't know. So, and then when we look at 15 to 28, I think Jackson Dart was one I struggled as well too. I felt could have gotten him a little bit higher. I put a little bit of a sophomore tax on him just because we've seen this.
Off and Love.
Yeah,
Love has not done anything to merit QB1 consideration
since the 2 years ago season.
Since the 2 years ago season, since the game against
his second half of the years are where he lit.
Yeah, it's whenever Toyota has their sales, the Toyotathon era. That's when you want to have. There is a body of work that speaks to how well Jordan Love plays when Toyota has their Christmas sales. And
that's so true.
It's called the Toyota, it's a thing.
Even
and
Baker.
So I think the thing with
Baker is a Liam Cohen issue there. And you see it with Trevor Lawrence, and not to knock Baker, because Baker's fantastic, but you really saw a difference the second half of the season for the Bucks versus the second half of the season for the Jaguars. Tyler Shuck being ranked above Baker and CJ Stroud and Sam Darnold to me is a little bit.
So Shuck was the one where I knew you guys would provide some pushback on that one. Yes, second year, but look, he's 15 to 28 guys, especially in a 2 QB super flex.
Yeah,
you're all QB2s, right?
It's not so much that I don't like Tyler Shuck's ranking. It's more that Sam Darnold needs to have a little bit of respect put on the guy's name. In the last 2 years, in 2 different offensive coordinators, 2 different coaching systems, he's performed well.
I owned him. He was very inconsistent. Guys, he had games down the stretch of 3 points, 11.3 points, 6.1 points, 8.8 points.
Yeah, I think it was mirrored. I think it was masked a lot from that Seattle defense. They were scoring touchdowns by the truckload.
He had a lot of games. He had 2 games of 4 touchdowns and a game of 3 touchdowns, and everything else was 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. He had the 0 touchdown, 4 INT game against the Rams. So, just quickly back to Dart. I think it'll be really interesting to see what type of coordinator he gets. Will the coordinator do more RPOs? To keep him running, or will it be kind of more of a traditional?
How many games does he play?
And how many games he plays?
How many games does he play?
So I'll be really, if it's Harbaugh, he brings in Greg Roman, he's going way down.
It's those second-year QBs, man.
And the second-year QB
the
aspect.
trust is just like way down right now.
Yeah, like miss me on the second-year QBs, man.
Stock and trust right now is way down.
Miss me on the second-year QBs. I'm out.
And guys, like, yeah, and that's why Shuck at 18, the price isn't that crazy to rank him there. Whereas I'm seeing dart places top 5. Top 8. I'm not touching that.
That makes no sense to me.
I'm not touching that.
No.
And then maybe just to wrap things up at the bookend, Cam Ward, Bryce Young. I think I would keep Cam Ward there. Bryce Young looked fine, but from a fantasy perspective, he's still a QB3 to me. Gonna be a very hard player to start. Malik, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Malik Willis is gonna jump up draft boards depending on where he's signed.
So outside of Pittsburgh, where else would you think would be a good fit?
Man.
And even if he signs with Pittsburgh, like how higher are you bringing him up 24? Like realistically, you bring him.
Well, I'm saying depending on where he goes, does he jumps off the board, right? Like it.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, because look, you're not going to go to he's not going to go to the Raiders because they're going to take Mendoza, right? You have
Arizona needs a quarterback.
You have Indianapolis, who's in the market for a QB potentially.
So basically, the four teams that are on this list, the 4 teams are on this list are the Browns, the Dolphins.
Dolphins could be a nice spot.
Dolphins would be very interesting.
I had the list before. No, I don't. Browns,
Dolphins would be very interesting.
Cardinals,
the Cardinals,
and Jets.
The Jets too are looking for a QB.
He's going to want every QB in this list up until 23, and then Penix maybe, but I think I'd rather just roll with Cousins, and I think Daniel Jones they'll probably put a stopgap option. Riley Leonard looked good enough where I would roll with him.
But there's still AR.
Yeah,
dude, everyone forgot about Anthony Richardson, right?
Yeah.
Like there's still AR there.
Dude, he still has the orbital fracture. That's a big injury.
Yeah, it is a big injury. So yeah, these are the QB way too early QB rankings, guys. Any other final thoughts? What do you think? How would you rate
This is going to look so different. This is going to look so different in 6 months from now. That we should probably keep it and just like revisit this. So guys, remember the end of
we'll end up doing, I think, like obviously in the offseason we'll end up doing like our tiers. So like that tiering it for pre-draft will probably be like a better way to do it.
That's why this is called
it's that like 13 to 20. Yeah. It's like that 13 to 20 rank where it's just so hard to predict. So tough to predict. The Jordan Love and the Justin Herberts and the Tyler Shucks and the CJ Strouds and the Baker Mayfields, like you just throw them on a board and see what happens. Like that's where they're going to end up. So hard to predict.
For sure. Well, either way, we have a great playoff matchups coming up. So let's move on. Fab, you want to talk to us about the wildcard recap and the divisional preview?
Oh my God. Yes. Oh my good. So listen, Wildcard Weekend was fantastic. Like the games were very close despite the spreads supposed to be a little bit bigger, but it's a fantastic. Like it's probably one of my favorite weekend of the NFL season. This Wildcard Weekend, just because of all the games that are happening so quickly. So the Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. Thanks to a 304-yard passing and 3 TD effort by Matthew Stafford. Jalen Coker really turned around for 9 receptions and 134 yards and 1 touchdown. Something to look forward. Something to look to next year with the Panthers. Very, very nice little offense there. The Bears beat the Packers in the first time in 85 years or something in a playoff game. Some record like that. Wonderful, exceptional, very. Yeah, that was a great game. And Caleb Williams put the team on his back, man. 361 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Colson Loveland, how are you? Welcome to the show. 8 receptions, 137 yards, just absolutely balled out. We got the Bills beating the Jaguars, which in a very close game. We got to give the Jaguars credit for this. Their defense played really well, and they did the best they could to stop what looks like to be the Michael Jordan NFL right now.
They should have won. I felt they should have won that game.
Yeah, me too.
They felt they should have won. They
really. I feel bad. Yeah. I feel bad, but at the same time, the Bills now have a very potential path to the Super Bowl. And Josh Allen, I don't like the Bills, but you got to give credit where credit's due, and it's hard not to like Josh Allen. So I hope they do well, and I hope they go very far. And Parker Washington really came on for Jacksonville too.
Beast.
Talking about that offense.
How fun would a Bills-Pats AFC championship be?
It's possible.
It is possible.
It's possible. It would be very nice. It would be very fun, and I think the ratings will blow up. But you know what else was fun? The Niners being the Eagles, 23-19. So happy about this. For so many reasons. But so happy about this. Very happy for the Niners. I've always been a bit of a Niners fan, and I've never been an Eagles fan.
You too, huh?
Joey Nick
over here. At least I have one team specifically that I root for, and they never had to make the playoffs in a minute. So I'm just grabbing onto whatever coattails I can find. The Patriots beat the Chargers in what was a little bit lackluster game, and I guess the defense played a little bit better than we expected to. 16-3. It was quite boring, I must say. But better days are ahead for Drake May in that offense. Drake May had 10 carries for 66 yards. So even if you stop him in the air, he can still punish you on the ground.
And they get that 148-yard run though in that game.
Hey, it still counts.
Skewed the stats a little bit.
Still counts. The Texans beat the Steelers 30-6. I think this box score is a little bit exaggerated. If we're going to talk about exaggerations, I think towards the end, it was closer up until the fourth quarter, and then I think the Steelers were just playing a little bit too loose, and because this was more
that Texas defensive line just dismantled the O line.
That is a defense.
It wore them down, and it was
not even games. That is a defense that can win you Super Bowls. Like when you rush 4 and you get to the quarterback and you drop 7 consistently.
Yeah,
that is a recipe for success.
I'm curious to see how Drake May and that offensive line does against that front. That is a wonderful segue, Nak. You haven't even you missed one episode, didn't skip a beat. Now we're gonna jump right into the divisional round right now. That's happening this Saturday and this Sunday, January 17 and 18, 2026, in the year of our Lord, ladies and gentlemen. First on the docket at 4:30 on Saturday, we got the Bills at the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. The spread over here is Denver's favored by 1.5. I like the Broncos to win this. I think defense wins championships, and we've been talking a lot about the Texans defense and Jaguars defense, but we can't stop. We should not forget to mention the Broncos defense in those conversations. This is a team that has led the NFL in sacks. They have Patrick Surtain II in their defense. They have so many linebackers and defensive ends just hitting all kinds of sacks right now. This is a game where I think it's going to be tough. Funny you talk about defense, but the Bills have the number 1 pass defense in the league. So I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that the Broncos win. I don't know. I just see that there's a path here that there's no Mahomes, there's no Lamar Jackson, there's no Burrow. This is the time where Josh Allen has to say, it's my turn. And I think it's just like it's turned. There's a switch that's going to be turned. And look, you saw it last week, came back, game-winning drive. And then obviously that pass defense got that last interception. So
the Bills actually beat the Broncos last year in the playoffs 31-7. And a lot of the same players are still there, right? It's hard to bet against Josh Allen, which is why I'm surprised at the spread. You're saying Broncos favored by 1.5. I know it
was the Bills early on. The Bills had they were favored by 1.5, I believe. The spread has since changed. I think it's because everyone was betting the Bills.
Spread has moved.
They're gonna put the ball in Josh Allen's hands. Obviously, the Jaguars, we know how good their defense was. The Broncos have the second best run defense in terms of yardage as well, and so they know the formula. James Cook didn't do anything last week. He probably won't do anything this week as well. They're gonna put it on Josh Allen. I have a really hard time betting against Josh Allen.
I'm not. There's no way.
Yeah,
I've already placed my bets, and it's on Josh Allen.
Well, duh.
Okay, so 2 against 1, Bills versus Broncos. That's fine. I win either way. I think the Broncos are going to win, and I would like Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl. So I win either way. That's all I'm going to put. We got the next game at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. 49ers versus Seahawks in Seattle, in Lumen Field. It's a bigger spread here. Seahawks are favored by 7. Seahawks, again, defense. Yeah, it's too much. Their defense is very good, but the Niners defense isn't playing all that bad despite their injuries too, right? I mean,
Fred Warner.
I think the spread is a little bit too high for me. Fred,
His practice
So I don't
window
know.
is open, right?
This game for me is
Yeah, and he looks good in
Yeah,
practice.
I saw some of those highlights.
Yeah.
One of the key things I saw was that Seattle has a very good run defense. They held San Francisco to 3 points in the season finale, but Seattle defense allowed the most running back receptions in the league this year. And obviously they're facing CMC. We saw what CMC, I think it was 2 touchdown catches he had against he looked like a wide receiver. Like the way he caught both those balls, the routes he ran. Mike McDowell is an amazing play caller, but Shanahan looks like he's in his bag. And Salah and Shanahan is such a good combo as an OC play caller in DC. Like
great combo. Yeah.
Salah, I'm tempted to go for the Niners here as a pick'em. At least against the spread, even as a pick'em.
I got the 49ers at plus 7.5. The spread was that high. I was shocked.
Yeah,
Kittle's not there, but I don't know.
He's fine.
It's very good. Yeah. It's very good. And you saw like Denard Robinson came out of nowhere. They saw Juwan Jennings. Like I feel like Ricky Pearsall is due for a good game once he gets to the point where he's healthy enough to play really well. He plays really well, and then he just gets hurt again. But I don't know. I like the Niners here, at least to cover the spread, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went outright either. Sunday, January 18th, Texans versus the Patriots. Probably the most, like, looking at the logos of these two teams, the most American matchup that you can find. The Texans versus the Patriots. Just looking at it, it's just a lot of stars, a lot of red, a lot of white. Obviously in Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, New England's favored by 3.5. This feels like a trap game. Also, the lowest total for the week at 40.5 points. So this game is going to finish 18 to 13 or something. It's hard to bet against the Patriots, but that Texans defense is legit, and they're legit on all fronts. And I think it's going to be a very tough day for Drake May. The difference here comes down to if CJ Stroud can pull one out of the bag. I think it's going to be tough without Nico Collins because he's going to probably most likely miss this game. He's still in concussion protocol. And it's very rare for a player to come back
on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. So Chancellor is going to miss this game. But then again, he hasn't really been a focal point of the offense all that much whenever CJ Stroud is playing, in my opinion, apart from when David Mills plays. Like, he doesn't necessarily see a ton of targets. So maybe that might be a benefit for them. I don't know.
And speaking of low totals, it's the 40.5. Last week's was Houston and Steelers was 36.5. And did you see that extra point that was missed at 36 points? It was the first time I've ever seen an extra point missed under the bar like that.
Is that what are you trying to say, Nak? What are you trying to?
Nothing. I thought it was curious. That's all. I thought it was curious. It was another low. It was a low over under that didn't hit.
Roger Goodell is a listener. Of the podcast. Roger Goodell is a friend of the podcast.
Well, he should listen then.
The NFL, the president of the NFLPA is a member of our forum community. No, I'm kidding.
I think the key will be the Patriots pass blocking. They're third best
D-line.
Third best PFF pass block rate, but that deal, you said it, Mac, like they play, or Fab, both of you said it, they play straight up. They don't disguise. It's man
rushes. Four-man rushes and they get home. Hunter and Anderson is a force. Like, it's 27 sacks in the regular season for both of them.
Yeah.
What's that YouTube video? Hunter. Dog.
Daniil Hunter, I think I was listening to another podcast. I think it was a Pat McAfee show. Someone was saying it. He's 31 years old. He has 115 career sacks. He has 6 or 7 years where he has at least 12 sacks. He is on a Hall of Fame trajectory, and no one talks about him.
Yes,
crazy.
No one talks about him. He doesn't get the respect he deserves.
I looked at his Pro Football Reference. I couldn't believe it. So I'm gonna go Texans here, as long as CJ Stroud doesn't lose his mind like he did last game.
This would be a massive upset.
Yes, it'll be different. It'll be different. 3 turnovers versus the Patriots will hurt a lot more than 3 turnovers.
He couldn't catch the ball. He couldn't catch the shotgun.
For sure.
He had 5 fumbles on Monday night.
He couldn't catch
5.
I think he was on drugs.
You know who didn't have any fumbles? Any one of the players in the Rams versus Caleb Williams, because they got the Bears and the Rams. Big Sunday night, 6:30 on NBC.
It'll be cold. It's going to be cold.
Very cold. It'll be very, very cold. And you know what Matthew Stafford's record is in cold games?
I do.
Tell me.
1-8. Or is it 0-9?
1-9. 1-9.
1-9. I was close. Whatever. This is off
minus
memory,
10
but it's not
Fahrenheit.
great. Put it that way. So I don't think this is a very good game for Matthew Stafford. The Rams are favored by 3.5 points, which is ridiculous to me because especially since the Bears are at home. The total is 48.5. I like the Bears here to win outright, quite frankly.
So
I like the Bears to win outright, especially since the Bears defense are ball hawkers.
So
they lead the NFL in interceptions, and I think you're going to see a lot of them trying to. Anyways, a lot of that happening too.
So really crazy stat. Teams are 3-158 this year when they're down 10 points with 5 minutes left in the game. Caleb Williams and the Bears are 3-3 this year.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling. The thing, so the Bears defense, they played a lot of man against the Packers, which they're able to kind of figure out at the end. Going to be very hard to do against Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. I think they're going to have, if they don't run the ball better, which they had 3.3 yards per carry against Green Bay, they're toast. I think this is a tough matchup for the Bears. As much as I love the Bears so far, I still got to go with the Rams. I think it's a little bit too much too soon for the Bears.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know.
It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable to keep coming back in the fourth quarter.
It's not.
That's what I'm saying. It catches up to you in the playoffs, right? Okay, you did it against the Packers. Packers have a little bit more injuries. I don't know what happened. Packers gonna Packer, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be closer than people think, but I think the Bears need to keep it close because the Rams defense is not gonna go and just blow a 21-point lead at one point. I think McVay is smarter than that, and especially in the playoffs.
You need to convert in the red zone. I think the Bears were like 2-7 in the red zone. Like the fourth downs, field goals last game. You can't keep. You got to run the ball. You got to run the ball better. And enough Ben Johnson. Enough with these like weird DJ Moore end arounds. Like just play straight up football. Like Swift and Modern Guy were really good this year. Just play straight up.
Yeah, I fully believe in the Bears. Good, better, great, better now, better, great, better, later,
best.
Whatever.
Better, never the best.
Better, best, whatever it is. I'm fully on board. I think the Bears are my favorite team in the NFC after the Giants. Who does sound like right now?
You too, huh?
I like the Rams. I really do. I like Matthew Stafford. I always have. I've always rooted for Matthew Stafford, even when he was with Detroit. There's something about this Bears team, and I'm not saying they're going to make the Super Bowl, but I feel like they have a chance to beat the Rams, and then they'll lose to either the Seahawks or the Niners. I think. But
you guys remember Sam, the Bears fan, who was we text all the time. Like this year because the Giants were so bad.
He must be super happy, man.
So like he texts me all the time about the Bears. Like it's fun because Caleb's cool. Ben Johnson loved him. Like it's a really cool team.
Yeah, it's fun. Do you remember when he said that they were going to have 11 wins in their first season?
And we laughed at him.
I mean, they did not have 11 wins. Like it's not as if we came out of nowhere laughing with that. They had 11 wins their second season. Hey, he was off by a year. You're never wrong. You're just early.
Oh, it's true.
So, quickly. So who are we? Bills and Broncos. Knack, who do you have?
I have the Bills.
Bills. Roger, you have the Bills?
Bills.
Okay, I'll take the Broncos. Perfect. I just want to keep us honest for next episode. Niners and Seahawks. Knack, who do you have?
I think I have the Seahawks at the end by a field goal.
Perfect. Roger?
Niners pick them. I'm just going to pick them, so it's
Perfect.
Niners.
Niners for me too. Love it. Texans and Patriots. Knack?
I think Drake May figures out the Texans. I'm gonna say again in a close one, the Patriots prevail.
Roger. Texans.
Yeah, Texans for me too. I think they do not figure out the Texans, and I think they do not prevail. Actually, that defense is just
How original.
It's like you rushed 4, you dropped 7, and they have a good cornerback. Anyways, Rams and Bears. Yeah, Rams versus Bears. Knack.
Rams.
Roger. The Bears.
I'm gonna go Bears.
Fuck, here we go. You guys are
better, best.
Never let it rest.
The good gets better. And your better gets best. Bears on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bears.
It sounds like the song of like it sounds like the intro song of a Rocky movie in 1990. You're the best around. All right, that's it for me. Yeah,
That
so
was
we're gonna
wonderful.
tally these up, guys, and we're gonna revisit this next week, I think, and see if
It's
we can keep
basically
ourselves honest.
Knack versus Raj and Fab.
No, you guys are you guys are
Except
you
for
guys
the
are both
Bills,
taking the
it's true.
Bills.
The Bills. Yeah,
I'm
what
taking
is
the
what
Broncos.
is new? Yeah, you're right. What is new?
What is that's very true. What is new? Yeah, guys, don't love your job your love.
Job. Perfect segue.
Best.
Guys, that will do it for another edition of the Bush League Huddle of Fantasy Football Podcast. Like always, please remember to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. We will be back next week. Raj, cue the music.
Job your love. Oh my goodness. Hey, Knack, great to have you back.
Yes,
this is a fun episode.
Great episode.
How do you win against a team that rushes 4 and drops 7? You can't.
Yeah,
It's like the old Buck. It's like the old Bucks with Warren Sapp and Simeon
can't.
Rice.
Dude, it's like the Giants when they won in
crazy.
2011.
It's crazy.
Or even
Or 2007 if you want to just obviously it's
2000,
always going to
yeah.
come to mind, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. Good night, everyone. Enjoy Divisional Weekend. Have fun. Peace out. Thanks for coming out.
Goodbye.
Not.